Setting up a new employee. There are 3 steps to this. The first is double-clicking on Employee Maintenance. Across the top of this you will see a list of icons. You need to select the Add icon. In the employee number, enter a unique number. This is often the payroll number, but not always. Last, enter a full name. Change the title according to the sex of the person that you're dealing with. And the rest of this screen can be left blank, as it is all for your information only. Moving to the second tab. On this screen you will need to enter a department. Click on the magnifying glass and you will get a drop-down list. And you will need to set the branch. If you wish to put in an access level, then this particular employee will only be accessible to the person who has access rights to that level. And finally, a joining date. The Clockings and Times tab is next. Input a work pattern. Again, where you see a magnifying glass, there is a list behind it. Double click on the flex pattern in this case, and each employee is required to clock in and out, so this must be ticked. If your employee has to clock in at a specific terminal, then you can input a terminal. Otherwise, if you leave it blank, it will mean that they can clock in at any particular terminal they like. As yours is a system which is on FlexiTime, you need to tick that on FlexiTime button. Leave everything on here as company default. If they've been operating on a manual system for a few days, maybe because they haven't been set up on the system, then you will need to transfer their balance to this system. So as a result, they will have an opening balance, and you can input it here. The next tab along is Payment Method. This is a screen that we use to determine how the calculations are made. In this particular case, nothing should be changed on this screen. On holiday and absence, you will be putting in the holiday entitlement. Now that may be 25 days for a full year, but if they join in, let's say, May, then there may only be something like 14 days. Again, everything else on this page will stay exactly as default. The European directives, if they are opted out, you can actually tick that and opt them out, and the password tab is not used at this stage. So if you then save, you have saved this first employee. Close this screen and we go to the next part of setting up a new employee. The next stage of setting up a new employee is to go to the Employee Pay Setup screen. This is a screen where you literally need to follow instructions. The first step is to use the double arrows here to select the first employee. Then you will choose Copy Pay Details. Click on that. At the bottom of the screen, click on Select Employees. Click on Save. Then you need to click on OK and OK. All this does is ensure that every employee has access to every pay code on the system. If you are inputting 10 new starters, then you only need to do this once at the end of setting up all employees in the employee maintenance screen. But it is very important that you select the first employee and literally follow those instructions. Closing that screen, we get to our final item. And this is the Access Badge Cross-Reference table. Double click on this icon and select Add. You will be asked to input an access badge number, which you then literally cross-reference with an employee number. Looking for our employee, if you go to Filter and input K, it will bring up everybody with that name, and you can double click to select that employee. Once you've done this, you need to click on the Save button and close the screen. If in this instance it didn't save on the first click, it will prompt you to make sure that it is saved. That is how you set up a new starter.